Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about Bunny. She is a fan favorite for a lot of people, and she's a great descendant for new and returning players, so I wanted to get a guide out to really show you guys a great, solid build for her. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to look at is Bunny's weapon, and Bunny's weapon is predominantly a stat stick. For the most part, you're not going to actually stop to fire any weapons with Bunny. The main thing you're going to do is run around like a crazy woman on crack. So when it comes to her weapon in this specific build, I'm using Nezestra's Devotion, and I'll explain the couple reasons why I use this, but this is the stat stick that I personally prefer. Now, while Nezestra's doesn't actually give you the most move speed you can get compared to other weapons, I do still like it, and we offset that with some cores. But the thing I do like about Nezestra's is its unique ability. So when it comes time to boss damage, you can actually go ahead and hit an enemy's weak point, and it will put Devotion's mark on that target. When you do that, the target's defense goes down by 30%, and this is just a great little bonus that you can do as Bunny to help the rest of your team out. So when it comes to the cores on this weapon, I really do like 2 move speed cores on this gun. It lets Bunny move around the battlefield very fast and makes it easier for her to get close to the max run speed that the game has in place. Outside of that, I do like to go ahead and put a grapple on here, and this will make it to where you can theoretically keep almost 100% uptime on your grapple, which is one way a lot of people like to play their Bunny. Either way, this gun has a lot of utility slots on it, and it really lends itself well to Bunny and the Bunny play style. So when it comes to the roll on this weapon, it really doesn't matter what you have on it. The big part to remember about this gun is it is just a stat stick to help your Bunny move around. Now for Bunny's second gun, I really suggest you put on a shotgun, either Smithereens or the Executor. So if you're like me, you only have one of each one of these weapons and you don't have multiple copies laying around. And the Executor is the one that I have rolled to do electric damage. And because of that, it is a great fit on Bunny's kit. The gun itself has really good perks, and it does do a lot of critical hit damage. And this will help when it comes time for you to do DPS with Bunny, as sometimes her tick damage from her run doesn't feel like it does enough to really be effective when it comes to doing boss DPS. So if you've seen any of my videos, you've probably seen the roll that we use on this gun, but what we are looking at is 1 electric core, 1 firearm attack core, 2 sprint speeds, and then we're just going to go ahead and finish off with bonus attack to truth. And when it comes to the roll on the gun, we're going to go with pretty much the same thing: electric attack, firearm crit hit damage, firearm attack, and more bonus damage against truth. Alright guys, so for the mods on the shotgun, you can see this is what I run right now. We really build into the crit hit damage, and we really go heavy into electric. We use this a lot in Void Erosion Purge, so we really built into the electric damage on this gun. Now, not all of our mods are maxed out. The gun works fine how it is. If you want to max out the hit rate focus, go ahead and do it. But if not, this will work just fine for what you're doing, and this will do enough damage on Bunny to make her feel pretty oppressive on the battlefield. So for the reactor, you're going to want an electric singular reactor. Outside of that, the skills down bottom can be swapped out with a couple different things. Right now, I'm running skill cooldown singular power boost, but you can very easily get rid of that skill cooldown and replace it with a couple different options. The other options I would look at would be just electric damage to really ratchet up your damage more, or you could go with skill cost down just to give you a little bit more time with some of your skills. Either way, any of these reactors are going to work with this build. The main thing you're going to want to look at here when it comes to your component sets is getting a good Slayer set. Slayer sets synergize very well with Skill Descendants, and this set is going to do exceedingly well on Bunny. The main thing you're going to want to get on these is MP and MP recovery. 3 of the main components can actually get some type of MP recovery, and the sensor can actually get max MP. So the god roll for the sensor is max MP and MP recovery. Outside of that, just slot on as much defense, HP, and shield as you can and call this set good. Alright, so when it comes to the inversion reinforcements, we are going to be looking at Arche Circulation Tactic, Selective Neurostimulation, and Blood Density Augmentation. Now, I've went through the inversion reinforcement several times, and there's not actually a lot in here that's really going to benefit our Bunny, because of the way we have her built and because of how much Arche Tuning we've actually got. So with that, these are the best choices that I could find. You can look over what they do here. They will give you some boosts and they will give you some bonuses, but these are the 3 that I would suggest you put on your Bunny when it comes to using this build. So when it comes to Bunny's Arche tree, this is the tree I would recommend right now. We'll go over why I say right now here in a second, but just know this is the one that I would suggest you use at the current time. This tree hits a lot of really good things for her. It gets her a lot of extra MP, a lot of MP leech, skill cooldown, skill cost reduction, skill duration, basically everything she needs and as much skill power as we can get with the nodes available. So this is the one I definitely suggest you use with Bunny in the current sandbox. So I'd made mention of a reason to use the other tree, and the big reason is this node right here. This node is actually bugged right now and will lower your skill damage by 10% instead of increasing it. Now there was an update here just within the last couple days. They did not fix this node. So until they actually fix this node right here, I would not use this tree. Once they get that node fixed, this is the tree that I'll be swapping over to. It's very similar to the last tree, but it does have an additional 10% skill power in it once this node's fixed, which will be pretty huge for Bunny all around. Alright, so when it comes to the build for Bunny, this is the actual build that we're looking at. Now, we've went back and forth with this a lot on stream, and this is what we've come up with. This is going to get us generally the best all-around stats and get us the most damage we can get while getting our range as far as we can, our cooldown low enough that we can keep 100% uptime on our skills, and a few other things. One thing to note is that right now, MP Collector seems to not be working as intended, but it depends on who you're asking. Either way, I would still leave it in this build because when they do get it fixed, it's just going to make this build work that much better. One thing to keep in mind here is this is not a crit hit Bunny. This is just for a regular Bunny. This build will do great in general mobbing, and I've found that it's actually a lot stronger than I expected it to be. One thing you can look at doing is swapping out the electric condense for high voltage, but you need to be aware that running a high voltage build will make it much harder to mob as you will be hitting way less targets. Now, if you have other people with you doing the mobbing and Bunny is there just to help out and really put in a little bit more damage towards those high value targets, then I would switch over to high voltage. But if you are the only mobber or you are running in a pub lobby where you don't know who you're going to get, this is the build that I suggest you run. So the last thing I want to do is kind of talk about how to play this build because there are a lot of new Bunny mains out there and they're not entirely for sure how to do it. So the main gameplay loop here is we're going to use our 2 to start running fast and build up our special resource. Our special resource is what we need to pop our 3s and our 4s. Once we have enough resource, you can see we can pop our 3 and we can just run around and do bulk damage to everything in range. Now, because we're not actually killing anything, you're going to see that we're not gaining MP back and we are going to run out of MP fairly quickly. Now, what our 4 is used for with the energy condenser on is to do high spike damage. So you can see here, if I pop my 4, it takes a few seconds and you can see the charge building up on me. Once the charge is fully built, it's going to explode and do a bunch of damage to everybody in the radius. So then the general gameplay loop would be to run around and use your 3 to proc off damage, and when you see high value targets or targets that need a lot of damage, pop your 4 and give it some time to build up. Once it builds up, get in close and do that spike damage. After that, you just want to keep running around, and this is the general gameplay loop of Bunny. But that's not all. So for people that want to be a little bit more advanced with Bunny, what you'll figure out is that when you grapple, it actually increases your move speed, and the amount of procs you get on your 3 is directly tied to your move speed. So really good Bunny mains actually use their grapple to move around most of the time because it increases the amount of procs they get with their 3. Now, as you can see here, because I'm not grappling a very large distance, it's very hard to keep 100% uptime on my grapple. But that is why we went ahead and put the additional grapple on our weapon so we could get as much uptime on this as humanly possible. Alright guys, and that's it. That's everything you need to know about Bunny and how to play Bunny with the build that we've put out there. Hopefully you guys enjoy this and enjoy playing as Bunny because Bunny is really a great character and a lot of fun to just get out there and play. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Was this the right build? Do you guys have some tweaks that you would propose to the build? Is there something that you think that would help the community? If so, definitely let us know down in the comments below. So thank you guys for being here, and if you enjoy our content, definitely come over to the live channel. You can catch us 5 days a week, and if you want to see more content like this, consider liking and subscribing to the video. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.